At least 40 others injured when a suspect drove into pedestrians in Westminster yesterday. Our correspondent in the UK, Olly Barrat, is coming to us now live from London. Olly, good morning. I wonder if it is good at all. What is the latest in London regarding this attack? Any updates on the information that we've had overnight? Any developments, Olly?
Few details officially coming via police overnight. They are keeping most of their details to themselves for the moment. We know that investigations are underway into the identity of the attacker. Police telling us that they do believe that they know the identity of the attacker. They are just not quite yet ready to share that identity with the public. They are also looking into the associates that this attacker may have had. That word associates was repeated several times by Mark Rowley, the Assistant Chief Commissioner for the Metropolitan Police, who's one of the most senior counter-terror officers in the country. So I think we can take from that as police are looking into the attacker, his identity, his motivation, any potential help he may have had, that police do believe that there might be some associates out there worth tracking down. There were some raids overnight in Birmingham, the UK's second city, which some local residents were suggesting could be related to the car that was involved in the attack, but police in Birmingham wouldn't confirm what those raids were related to, and neither would police in London. We of course also know that the policeman that died in the attack was named as PC Keith Palmer, a 48-year-old husband and father, one of 5 people left dead after the attack. One of those, of course, was the attacker himself. Then we have PC Keith Palmer and then 3 members of the public caught up in the attack that unfolded on Westminster Bridge.
This information that came up from yesterday, that is a terror attack, that maybe the attacker who's now dead was inspired by terror groups. Has there been any more light shed on that session, Olly?
All police would say is that they believe that the attacker was inspired by Islamic fundamentalism, by Islamic terrorism. So we haven't had yet really much of a sense as to whether the attacker could have been more than inspired, if you like, whether he was coordinated with an international terror cell, whether he had direction from abroad, whether there was planning involving other jihadists. That we will wait to hear more from the police on later today. But clearly the primary line of investigation now will be to try and work out exactly whether this man had any help, had any assistance, had any associates here in the UK or elsewhere. Of course, we have known for some time that Britain has been a terror target, and of course London has always been high on the list of targets for international terror networks like the Islamic State, like Al-Qaeda before that. And police here in London have been warning for some time that an attack was very likely to get through at some point. And there have been a number of plots that have been disrupted in recent years. Of course, the last major terror attack was the 2005 London bombings here in the British capital. And I think many in London feel that the city has done very well indeed to get through that intervening period without any other major incidents. Police have been warning throughout that time that London, as I say, remains a very large target for international terror organisations and potentially homegrown terrorists as well.
Olly, finally, have Londoners heeded Theresa May's call to carry on as normal after the attack?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to a large part. Of course, soon after the attack unfolded, people were warned to stay away from the particular area of Westminster. Many of the streets around the Houses of Parliament remain closed. But other than that, last night, people were out in the bars and the pubs of London enjoying themselves. Some people went home a little bit earlier than otherwise they would have done. But this morning, they are heading back to work as usual. Parliament, of course, itself will sit as usual today. There will certainly be tributes paid in the chamber to all of those who died, particularly PC Keith Palmer, who of course was going about his job trying to protect MPs at Westminster. A very important message I think MPs want to send is that Parliament won't be cowed by this attack, that the business of democracy won't be disrupted by this attack. MPs and peers will be back at the House of Commons, back at the House of Lords, going about the business that they had planned yesterday before this attack took place.
Thank you very much, Olly. That's our UK correspondent, Olly Barrat, live to us from London this morning.